What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It with your host, Bando. Robert the Reaper Whitaker got it done this weekend in beautiful fashion, in quick fashion, with a first round finish. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's go. So, like I said, welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. Robert Reaper Whitaker. Robert the Reaper Whitaker. Beautiful win. Fantastic win this weekend. Huge needed win, right? He needed this win just simply because of all the BS that was happening leading up to this. With losing his actual opponent of Hamzat and stuff like that, not being able to fight the guy you've trained so long for. It always makes it tough. But he went up against Ikram Alaskirov, who is not a top 5 guy. He's not a top 10 guy. I don't even think he's top 15 guy. He's a guy who's been fighting, fought 3 fights in the UFC so far. He took the fight on short notice. I give him props because who the wants to take a freaking fight with Bobby Nux on 1 week's notice? That's a tough one to take. They tried to get other middleweights. They couldn't, so Ikram Alaskirov stepped up. But Rob got it done quick. In my opinion, though, legitimately, that's exactly what these guys need to do when they end up having a short notice fight. When you got a guy like Rob Whitaker, who is one of the best middleweights we've seen, right? Top tier guy, top tier talent, still reigning at the top of the division. Yes, he doesn't have a belt, but he's still reigning at the top of the division. Hard to get past. You always want to see a guy like that run right through a guy on the come up. You know what I mean? You don't want to see a guy on the come up take that spot from somebody like Robert Whitaker, who worked so hard to get there, right? And especially on short notice too, you got to go in there and make a quick statement. Make a statement like, no one's gonna come in here and just ragdoll me, manhandle me, beat me in any way. No, not especially not on short notice. And Rob did exactly what he needed to do. And I'm happy to see him get that win. I'm happy to see him get a finish. You know what I mean? Like a dope-ass finish. That was a nice finish. That was a beautiful knockout. Landed beautiful strikes, beautiful punches. He was throwing good kicks. He was looking rangy. He was looking bigger than usual, like physically looking bigger than usual. So I think Rob's on a good path. Rob looks hungry. That loss to Dreykus, I think that really refueled him. He came in good against. He came in good against him in the first round, and then the second round he didn't really look the same. Like, I don't know. The way Rob looked this weekend is the way I want to see Rob look every time he fights. Every single time he gets in there, I want to see him look like that. Another guy that I thought looked really good this weekend was Volkov. Now, I originally had a breakdown for this card, right? I had a breakdown, and for some reason my laptop would not let me transfer to YouTube. Whatever I tried to do, it would not transfer to YouTube. It specifically did not like that episode for some reason. But it just wouldn't let me do it, so I couldn't post a breakdown. But in my breakdown, I mentioned all the keys to victory for Volkov to get the win against Sergey Pavlovich. And he did exactly what I expected him to do. He used his distance well. He was rangy. He was striking, using his jab, using kicks to the body, throwing good leg kicks, right? He was keeping Sergey away from him, not allowing him close enough to land that kill shot. Now, Pavlovich did land a couple heavy shots, but didn't get him out of there. And I think when a guy has power like Pavlovich, right, that power where he touches somebody and they usually go to sleep, I feel like when he hits somebody and they don't go to sleep, changes the whole aspect of the game. Confidence is gone, all that kind of stuff. Kind of like a Deontay Wilder thing. When Deontay hits you with the hardest shot and it doesn't happen, it's like it hits the confidence and it drops it down a little bit. So I think that's what happened with that. But Volkov looks sharp. He looked sharp, and I didn't even get to see the full fight. I had to go back and watch highlights and stuff like that. I was at work. I didn't even get to see the. I didn't even get to see the card. I didn't even get to see the card, right? But it was it looked like a good performance. It looked like a really good performance. One of the crappiest parts of the card was seeing my boy Johnny Walker get slept. I had a feeling. Volkan Ozdemir cracks, right? He cracks, man. And he caught him with a nice jab and then a nasty uppercut. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? He didn't even need to land the extra shot at the end. Johnny was already out cold. But, you know, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Johnny Walker because he was supposed to be that star. Everybody was bringing him in. He was a super hype train. Got knocked out once, and then the chin just seemed to deteriorate from there. And now he just can't. He can't get it to click fully, right? He gets tagged and he gets dropped. It happens though, man. In a division like light heavyweight or a division like heavyweight, anybody can go out at any given time. So it's all good. It happens. But that was a good win by Volkan Ozdemir. But those are the only 3 fights that I actually got a chance to pay any bit of attention to. I saw just a little bit of it. Not a lot, but just a little bit of each one. But it seemed like a decent card for UFC Saudi. You got to see the Bullet, Sharabutin Magomedov get another win. You know, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's a good striker. You know, I'm kind of like rocking with the hype a little bit, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see what's up. There was another short notice fight that wasn't originally supposed to happen, so we'll see what happens. He was supposed to be fighting Ihor Potieria. Which style-wise I think is a lot different than the guy he did fight. I think the guy he did fight was fighting on short notice, like a short notice debut. I think that was his debut. It's Mackenzie Dern's guy. Apparently he had a little beef with Bobby Green or some shit like that I was reading, but I ain't about to put out a bunch of false shit if it ain't true. But, yeah, so, you know, Sharabutin, he seems like he could be potentially good. We'll see. We'll keep him. We'll keep it going. We'll see if the hype is alive with that, though. The hype may be alive with that. I'm not 100% sure, but overall, good card. Good win by Robert Whitaker. Huge win, matter of fact, by Robert Whitaker. Hopefully one day we could end up getting the matchup that we were originally supposed to have with Rob and Hamzat. But if we don't, it is what it is. You know, we just got to see Hamzat get healthy. The last thing you want to see is Hamzat become a what if. Because if you have him become a what if, now you have Zabit and Hamzat both at what ifs. What if? You know what I mean? Like that, you don't want that, man, because I think already 5 different fights have gotten canceled of Hamzat's. 5 different fights. And I'm talking about big fights. Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz, Rob Whitaker, Paulo Costa. I mean, these are huge fights. These are very big fights that you definitely want to make sure your guy can show up to. And every time the fights seem to get close, he gets sick. Not saying that he like pulls out or anything like that. I think he physically works so hard that he overworks himself and then he gets sick from it. Dehydration is a fucked up thing, man. Really is. And if he's getting dehydrated while trying to cut weight, I mean, you're already dehydrated anyways, but you know, your body can go into failures and shit like that. I'm not no damn freaking doctor, but you know, you need water. Just as simple as that. And when the guy is training as hard as he is, he's sweating like crazy. He's consistently in a sauna suit. I've never seen a guy that's in a sauna suit that much. He is in a sauna suit all the time. Spars in a sauna suit, runs in a sauna suit, lifts probably in a sauna suit. I don't know, he probably does, but always in a sauna suit. So he's always cutting weight, which means when he's not fighting, he's putting on way too many pounds because he's got to be cutting weight all the time. I think he's got to cool it on getting big and just get comfortable with the positions he's in of cutting weight, being able to find a good spot of weight to be able to cut healthy and be able to make it to these fights, because you don't want this guy, like I said, to become a what if. I mean, think about how huge it would have been, right? You got Rob, who looked great this past weekend. If you would add Hamzat in there, And Hamza was able to go in there and get a win over Rob. That is so massive that it pushes him automatically right there above everybody to be the next in line for a title shot because his namesake, he's one of the biggest stars in the game. But he's losing that by not being able to make it to these fights. He gets wins, yeah, that's awesome. He gets wins when he's in there, but how many more fights are we going to be able to see if he can't make it to the actual fights? We need him to make it to these big ones so he can continue on that path of being a dominant fighter, right? I mean, you got a lot of time still, but you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it happen. You don't want to see him become the what if, the next Zabit. It's not what I want, at least. Truthfully, though, I do believe Rob would have ended up getting the win anyways. Like, I was rocking with Rob, thinking that Rob could end up getting past that early onslaught, that super chain wrestling, pressure wrestling by Hamzat right at the beginning, the first 2 rounds. Thought if Rob can get past that, Hamzat would not necessarily be gassed out, but I don't think he can hang with the cardio level of Rob, who's been through 5 plenty of times. Plenty of times he's gone through 5. He's gone through 10 rounds with Yoel Romero. He's went through another 8 rounds-ish. Yeah, like 8 rounds-ish, I think. 8 rounds, 7 rounds with Israel Adesanya, right? He went 5 with Jared. He went well 25 with Jared. He went 15 minutes with Paulo Costa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the man has put in so many like hours in that octagon of fight time that it's hard to have better cardio than a guy who's that used to just being in there. He's used to being in there for 5 rounds because he can. That's how he is. He either gets knocked out early or he's beating your ass for 5 rounds. It's one or the other with Rob. Like I said, I'm happy to see him back in the win column. Now we move on to UFC 303 that is this upcoming weekend, which I'm going to do a breakdown in a couple minutes for that. I'm going to do a quick breakdown. But, that's another massive card. Very big card. A whole bunch of switch-ups. That none of us expected to happen. The card that we were originally supposed to get is basically completely gone. And we got a whole new card. And honestly, this whole new card is better. So make sure that you tune in to the next episode when I break down UFC 303 and we talk about all the things that are going to happen on this amazing card now and how this card is better than the original. So make sure to tune in. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. I'll catch you then. Your boy Bando is out.